What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the WarnerCast. This is episode 34. Thank you all for tuning in. It is Josh alongside Colin here, and today I hope you like us talking about clearly uncomfortable topics, because man, do we got more of them. We got more of them coming for you, folks. Obviously, we all know what happened over in Ukraine, the after effect over this week, but let's start off a little bit lighter. Let's start off with some trivia. It is Colin's turn this week. He has been brewing something up. Colin, what do you got for me?
Okay, so this is going to be NHL all-time leaders.
Okay.
These are like you'll know who these people are, so it's not going to be some like random guys.
Mm-hmm. It's just
So
gonna
like
it's just you
yeah.
have to pick one of those really good players that everyone knows about.
Yeah, like for some of them it's like name like the fifth whatever because
Oh.
the
Oh, the
because like the
fifth.
fourth, yeah, because like the other ones aren't like notable players, like they're not like I didn't know them, so I was like, "Oh,
Oh no. Well, all right. Let's see how this goes.
okay." Question number 1. Who is the NHL shot leader and how many? So what NHL player has taken the most shots?
um. Okay. So here's the deal. There's one man that sits atop the record book in pretty much everything. And so I'm just gonna default to him when I really don't know the answer. Is it Wayne Gretzky? And did
Hmm,
he take I don't know, 2,000 shots? I don't know.
no, it was Ray Borick with 6,209 shots.
I am an idiot. Wow. First things first,
Yeah,
defenseman Ray Bork. And
yeah.
6,000? How do you shoot 6,000 times? Okay. That was bad. I did a bad there. Let's move on. Forget about that one.
Okay, question number 2. Who is the NHL's fifth penalty minutes leader of all time?
How am I supposed to know this? How, how is anyone supposed to know this? Brad Marchand. It's wrong, but I'm gonna throw it out there because it's funny. Entertainment,
Nope.
god damn it.
It's Bob Probert.
Bob Probert. Oh yes, Mister. I will punch you until you are down on the ground and then some.
Okay, question number 3. Name two out of the top 3 NHL all-time hits leaders.
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. God, how do I even try on this one? I really don't know. uh, Zdeno Chara and Louis Eriksson. We're going all funny on this one.
No. So the top 3 were Dustin Brown, Cal Clutterbuck, and Matt Martin.
All time?
Yeah, they're like,
How is it not someone from the 90s? Like, in the 90s, you were allowed to skate full speed and plow someone's head in. And it's not someone from the 90s? Okay. Is that the third question or the fourth? I can't
that
even.
was that was the third one.
Oh, God. This is not going good for me.
Okay, who has the most NHL game-winning goals, and who is 10th?
Game winning goals. I don't
So
even
who's
know.
first and who's 10th?
Who's first and who's 10th?
Yes.
Ovi number one. And Sidney Crosby, number 10.
Nope. Yager was number 1. Number 10 was Bobby Hall.
Bobby Hall. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Number 5. Let's just get this over with. This has not been a fun experience. 2
Okay,
out of 10 overall.
this one you might have a chance to
Okay.
get like maybe 1.
Already know it's an
Okay.
Oilers player in there. Already know there's an Oilers player involved.
Name 3 out of the top 10 best shooting percentages of all time.
Wayne Gretzky.
And what percent?
Wayne Gretzky, 18.4%.
Nope.
Wayne's not up there?
Nope.
How? Oh, I hate this. Okay. Other Oilers. Screw it. I'm just going full Oilers. Because I don't.
Wow.
Yari Curry. Is he on this list? I don't. Okay.
No.
Connor McDavid. Is he? I just don't. I don't. Listen. I'm sorry. All right.
You want to take any more guesses?
No. I give up. I give up. You've broken me. You've broken me.
Okay, so
Watch.
there
It's
was
gonna be 3 guys who've scored 1 goal. And it's the only
No.
shot they took because they were 1-game bums. That's what it's going to be.
No. Okay, so number 4 is Mike Bossy, 21%. Number 1 is Craig Simpson with 24. Charlie Simmer, 22. Number 3 is Paul McLean with 21.
Charlie Simmer. What is a Charlie Simmer? All right. Here's our science experiment for the week. What is a Charlie Simmer? Let's search this up, shall we? Who is this man? Watch, he's a Hockey Hall of Famer. I guarantee it.
Number 10 was Kent Nelson with 19.
Okay.
I think I've heard of his name.
Okay, Charlie Simmer. I don't even know if I spelt it right. Charles Robert Simmer. Charles Robert Simmer. Oh, the mustache on this man. Oh, his mustache. He only played 700 games, scored 711 points, and 342 goals. Sure. And he also was an IHL, but I'm assuming that was the AHL. I'm sorry, I just find this funny. This man finished his career in the IHL, which I don't know what league this is. And he played for the San Diego Gulls. And he played in the 1990-91 and 1991-92 seasons with this team. And he also coached during the exact same seasons. So this man holds the highest one of the highest shooting percentages in the NHL's history.
What?
And he is also a player coach. Not a player turn coach, a player coach. He was sitting there, he'd go out there, he'd score a goal, and then he'd go back to the bench and he'd pull out the whiteboard and be like, all right, boys, this is what we're going to do next play. Let's go. Let's do it. All right, so that was trivia. I hated that. I really didn't like that. You will have hell to pay next week. You will.
Okay, thank you.
It's not going to be fun. You're not going to like it. I can pretty much guarantee it. Yeah, next week, our final podcast before the regular season starts. And hopefully, we don't have 700,000 scandals when the regular season starts. Which brings us to the Ukrainian Hockey League. And listen, I may mess up this man's name. I don't care. He is a piece of shit. And we do not care about people who are pieces of shit. Let me introduce to you, to those of you who do not know, let me introduce to you Andre Deniskin. Andre Deniskin plays for a team in the Ukrainian Hockey League. I don't know what one it is. I don't care. And a couple weeks ago, in the middle of a hockey game, he had the audacity to taunt a player of color with a very racist gesture. Now, we're not going to talk about the gesture. It was disgusting. You can go see it if you need to on your own. And also, we're not going to touch on this for a long time. Just because I think that, the rest, everyone in the hockey world is in agreement on this one. There really isn't a debate to be had here. That's the main reason I don't think we're going to touch on this for too long. Screw this guy.
Yeah.
Fair statement to make. He was suspended by that league for only 13 games, with 10 of them being able to be paid off. So 3 games and a fine.
Yeah.
We are still waiting on what the IIHF might do. There is the potential that they could give him a lifetime ban. We would see what that would do. I don't know what a IIHF ban means, whether that means he's not allowed to play hockey at all in any of the leagues under them, or whether it just means you can't, he can't play with the national team. I don't know what it means, but it's definitely they better suspend him for a very long time. Very, very long time.
Yes.
All right, so that is our big story. Now we're gonna get into some of the other stuff that happened this week, which there was a bit of stuff that happened over the past week. Not a ton, but we're not left without anything to talk about. Obviously, training camps kicked off this week. We had a ton of training camp type stuff. But first, I want to touch on a trade that took place. The Ottawa Senators and St. Louis Blues made a trade over the weekend. Zachary Sanford heading to the Ottawa Senators in exchange for Logan Brown and a conditional 4th-round pick. Sens retain the 4th-round pick if Brown plays 30 or more regular season games for the Blues this year. Colin, your thoughts?
It's an interesting trade for the situation that Ottawa is in. They get this very physical guy in Zach Stanford, but they give up a young piece in Logan Brown.
Mm-hmm.
But they also get a 4th back, or potential 4th back.
Yeah. Or no, sorry, they're giving up the 4th.
Oh.
They get the 4th back. St. Louis has the 4th, but they get it back if Brown plays 30 or more games.
Oh.
So we'll have to see how that works out. Now, my opinion on this trade is simple. Even with the 4th-round pick in there, I think Ottawa won. I've heard a lot of things about Logan Brown. However, the majority of stuff I've heard is that he is a young guy who could contribute on your power play, but he is going to struggle unless he's in a top 6 role, which is going to be a bit of an issue. Obviously, maybe he can invigorate his career a little bit, get a bit of a turnaround going with him going back to his hometown in St. Louis, so maybe that can boost him up a bit. But Zach Sanford, while he maybe isn't the best offensive guy, good physical player, good defensive player, and I think that honestly, you're dealing with a guy who can be a part of a Sens core that can push for the playoffs. Think about him in a little bit of a less offensive Nick Paul type role for the team. When you put him into that sense, I think that makes him work a lot better. The Sens, I think they saw the writing on the wall with Logan Brown. I don't think that they saw him as a part of the long-term core. They saw him as a guy that was expendable, and then they capitalize on the expendableness of him.
Mm-hmm.
And now, moving on, just going to check and see if we missed out on any other news. There has been a good amount going on, and then I think after that we're going to get into some team conversation as well. Just talking about our respective teams and some other ones around the league. But let's just take a quick look here and see if there's any other significant news. Curtis Mcelini retired.
Yep.
Leafs,
Legend.
arguably one of the best backup goalies they've had over the past 10 years. Actually, arguably one of their better goalies. I mean, Freddie, Jack, Peter right now is a bit better. James, Jonathan Bernier. He's better than Vesa Toskala, I can tell you that. You know who Vesa Toskala is, right? He's the guy that allowed that shot from center ice 15 years ago.
Yeah.
He's that guy. He's that guy.
No, he's one of those guys.
He's one of those. That's who Vesa Toskala is. And they gave up a 1st-round pick for him. And the Sharks ended up using that 1st-round pick and I think they ended up flipping that pick to St. Louis along with another pick, and they ended up getting Logan Couture. So if you just want to say things outright, Vesitoskala went to the Leafs, Logan Couture to the Sharks. It never ends. It'll never end. Oh, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I think that the first round pick that the Blue Jackets got back for Foligno turned into Corson Sulemans. He's a right-hand defender. I cannot wait for that guy to win a Norris. I cannot wait for that guy to win a Norris.
I swear to God.
I cannot. I just can't wait. I can't wait for Seth Jarvis to turn into league MVP. I can't wait for it. I can't wait. I'm just gonna. It's going to happen. It's gonna happen. The St. Louis Blues have announced they've signed GM Doug Armstrong to a 5-year contract extension, as well. That was announced earlier in the week. He got Brandon Saad and nobody knew, and I forgot about it. That's like the only thing I have to say about that. I mean, I just hope St. Louis know what they're doing, because a lot of cup teams, after they win, get really comfy. And they just decide, hey, this team won a cup once, they can do it again. And it doesn't work out, because unless you're Tampa Bay, it's not meant to work out.
No.
Moving up a little bit further into the week. Stop me if you've heard this before. Evander Kane is under investigation, guys. This time, COVID-19 related. Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm so surprised that the guy who's been investigated like 1,700 times at this point is being investigated again. This is so shocking. Do you have the TV on?
Yeah, I just have the Blue Jays game on. No volume though.
I'm sitting here at my computer with my everything loaded up, here recording, and he's sitting here in the middle of the podcast watching TV.
I'm not watching it. I'm just like,
folks, we
have it
have
in
a
the
wonderful
background.
dynamic. I know. Our
No,
dynamic is great. We're always on cue. We always put 100% passion into this. No debate about it. The Lightning have agreed to a new 5-year contract with their GM, Julien Brisebois. That's good. He makes $3.5 million per year, but that's good because he's good. He's really good at his job. And finally, our other piece of news. I think that was I don't know who that was in the background, but it doesn't really matter. The Toronto Maple Leafs have agreed to a 2-year extension with head coach Sheldon Keefe. Sheldon Keefe, notable swearer. He likes to swear like a lot. I don't know if you've seen some of the rants that have leaked out from this All or Nothing documentary releasing tomorrow. But Sheldon Keefe's most notable quality is that whether you're winning, whether you're losing, or whether you're in a tie with someone, his coaching strategy is to see how many F words he can compact into a sentence. I think me and Sheldon would get along really well, because we both swear a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a Leafs fan, what do you think about Sheldon Keefe being extended for 2 years after losing in the first round 2 years in a row?
Honestly, like, I still don't know if he's like a good coach. Like, I think he is, but like, yet again, is he?
I'm really confused by this move, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
If it were me, even though Dubas and Keefe are like the best of buddies, Sault Ste. Marie, anyone? Even though they are the best of buddies, like, we don't know how good Keefe is, and I think that this year would have been a good year to let the contract run out and then see what happens. But then again, the other thing that weirds me out is like, okay, so you're going to give him after this year to work it out, but at the same time, you're not committing to him long term.
Yeah.
So is he the guy? Is he not the guy? Who knows? It's really up in the air. What they're going to do. Also, I can't really pull anything up here, but we do now have a look at the TNT graphics with NHL on TNT. It looks like a stereotypical hockey broadcast setup. Like, what else do you want me to say? From that point going forward, I do have a fun story I want to talk about here. And it is regarding Washington Capitals player TJ Oshie. Now, I don't know if you saw this earlier in the week,
Oh,
but
yes, I did.
TJ Oshie was quoted as saying he wants to be a defenseman. Defenseman TJ Oshie. A man with a lot of offensive prowess. I don't know how good of a defensive player he is, though. I feel like he's really just trying to channel his inner Brett Burns here, and is just trying to be a dual threat.
I did also hear that in the past he's also asked to be a defenseman like years before too.
Yes,
So this isn't the first time.
Reportedly, he has wanted to be he's wanted to be a defenseman for a long time, and they've told him no. And I think there's a reason that they've told him no. No offense to him, he is not a defenseman. He does.
No.
I do not think he knows how much is going to be entailed with that job. I'm just trying to see if he has a analytics card out there right now, to see if we can just get an idea of how good of a defensive player he is. By the way, man, with the Leafs, man, do we have a lot to talk about after last night? Do we have a lot? Because that team has gotten stupid. That team's gotten really stupid. Josh Hosang should be definitely getting signed, but we'll get to that here in a moment. Let's see. Is there something to do with TJ Oshie? I'd be surprised. I don't think there is. Well, I thought there might have been. There is not. But yeah, so TJ Oshie wants to be a defenseman. We'll see what ends up happening. I don't know. Could happen. Maybe not. Let's talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs, shall we?
Yep.
Let's talk about their preseason dominance up to this point. Well, not really, but...
No, not really.
If you listen to Toronto sports media, which is Canadian sports media... Oh, you know what? No, there's one more thing I want to talk about. I'm very sorry, and you don't need to touch on this if you don't want to, but I need to. Yesterday, it came out that Sportsnet was going to be streamlining all of its radio and all of its audio stuff. And instead of having, like, regional radio, like, they have multiple different stations, like one out in Calgary, one out in Vancouver, one in Toronto. Instead of trying to, invest into making radio work for all those places, they've replaced it all with every show pretty much being based in Toronto. All the shows, all of the commentators are guys who have talked about the Leafs pretty much for the longest time. It's like they're saying, hey, are you a Canadian sports fan? Well, hey, I got some Toronto Maple Leafs content here for you, and I hope me and Canadian means you're a Leafs fan, because if not, you're going to be really dissatisfied with what we get. So I find that so annoying. Plus, they fired a ton of people. They're like, it's a shame how they're doing it. It's pathetic as well. But anyways, let's go on here. The Toronto Maple Leafs have played 3 preseason games up to this point. On Saturday night, they defeated the Montreal Canadiens, final score 4-1. On Monday night, they lost to the Montreal Canadiens 5-2. Lol. And on Wednesday night, they beat the Ottawa Senators 4-0. And I could talk about the other games, Tavares looked pretty good in the first one. We could talk about stuff like that. However, the story of this preseason so far for the Leafs has not been the big dogs. It's been the depth. Last night, and over the past couple of nights, a few guys have really made a name for themselves. Michael Bunting with a power play hat trick the other night, folks. Josh Hosang with some incredible passes. Incredible plays out there. David Kampf, the Kampfster himself, 2 goals. And Andre Kasha also putting in very solid performances. the Leafs' depth has now become very interesting. Now, we're going to get to
Yep.
talking about all these guys a little bit, but I need to start off with Josh Hosang because currently this man's on a PTO. He's not even signed. Tell me, are you going to be mad if Josh Hosang is not signed by the Leafs? And if so, are you going to be like really enraged or just angry for a few moments, put your phone down, rest for a sec, and then you'll be fine angry?
Huh. I think it would be like kind of just like, why didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and like I guess like the only reason I could say that they don't sign him is if because they have too much depth players, and then we already will then he'll be like our third depth player.
But then again,
Yeah,
having depth's never a problem. Like,
yeah,
it's always good to have those depth guys because what if you have a ton of
yeah,
guys go down to injury? Like
yep,
like the Leafs, we've talked about how hard it's going to be for them to craft a roster. When you look at the forwards that they have,
yeah,
you add Josh Hosang to the mix, you have too many. You just have
yeah.
too many. There are not enough spots in the lineup.
hmm
Um, let's move on to Michael Bunting now. What is your reaction to that hat trick he put up?
I love him. Like he's very good in front of the net. I feel like he's also pretty good defensively. I feel like he's still kind of physical too.
The greatest thing I think that Michael Bunting did for the Toronto Maple Leafs so far is give those Leafs fans that just, let's face it, most Leaf fans, the opportunity to be able to say, oh, now that Hyman's not here, he sucks. Michael Bunting's the way to go, man. Like, gives those type. That's what I saw on Twitter. People are like, man, we don't need Zach Hyman. Michael Bunting's fine. Like, okay, yep,
Mm.
clamor over the same guy you were clamoring over to stay just a few months ago. Good job. I like your logic. David Kampf, 2 goals. Confident with him as a fourth line center going into the year, knowing he's good defensively, and now he's put up this.
Yes, I'm very confident in him.
You think
I
you?
feel like he's I feel like he's also in like the perfect spot or like just in like the right
Mm-hmm.
spot at all times, which is very good.
And what do you? So like you're good with the fourth line role. You good with paying him $1.5 million? Do you think now that you've seen? Obviously, it's preseason, by the way. It's
Yeah.
preseason. Don't read into it too much, but personally, if I was a Leafs fan, I would be more than thrilled with what I'm seeing out of some of my depth guys. Andre
hmm
Kasha, we're not going to talk about him a lot. Just a quick touch on him to just say, looks pretty good. Looks pretty
Yeah.
good. Looks like he can bounce back, but he's just got to stay healthy. And honestly, I think when you have the medical staff as good as the Leafs, I think that everything's going to be A-okay with him.
Yep.
So that is what's going on with the Leafs. Moving on to the Edmonton Oilers. We've had a bit of a preseason story as well going on. Now, I will be completely transparent. I haven't watched a single preseason game yet. I don't know why. Honestly, I think I'm just saving anticipation for the regular season. I don't want to burn out too quickly, but I have been following along with the team, no doubt about that. And the Oilers have had an interesting preseason to start off. When you look at how they did, let me just pull up their game. Pull up the team from here, go here. Let's wait for this to load, then go. Oh, I can't go. Oh, no, I can't go from there. Okay, I'll have to go back through here. Website navigation is horrible. There we go. Found it. Finally. Only took like 20 extra seconds. Let's go. Yeah, so the Oilers preseason started off with a win over the Calgary Flames, 4-0, followed up with a win over the Kraken, 6-0, and followed up then with a loss to Winnipeg, 5-1. Notably, in this preseason so far, we saw Brandon Mcelini end up being good. He has scored
Yeah.
3 goals in 3 games for us. Personally, as an Oilers fan, I look at Perlini, and I see a guy who I think is going to be, I think he does have that potential to make this team and be there in a big role. I think that the fourth line for this
hmm
team's been a lot more competitive. When it comes to other good things we've heard about players, Kyle Turris we've heard good things about. He's put up some good production here in the preseason. Not to mention, he also came into camp as one of the most physically fit guys. Same thing with Tyler Benson. He's became a bit of a monster. There's going to be a lot of competition for the Oilers' bottom 6. And honestly, I'm having a hard time seeing which guy is going to be it. However, the one thing I do believe at this point, I'm confident in saying, is that we are going to see a Mike Smith, Mikko Koskinen goaltending tandem this season. Why? I hate everything. I hate literally everything. I mean, he's been decent, okay? But no. Just why? Why him? Anyone but Mikko. Like, it's so weird with the NHL, man. Like, I remember in the bubble a couple years back, I was like, oh my god, we need to put Mikko Koskinen in. Mike Smith sucks. And now I'm like, oh dear god, at no cost should we put Mikko Koskinen into an NHL game. It's just, it's definitely interesting. From there, we've now talked about our teams. Shout out to Seattle Kraken, who have started playing their preseason games. Mark Giordano scoring a goal against the Calgary Flames. Calgary lighting up with Geo Chance was a really cool moment. Man, I'm interested to see how Seattle's first season goes. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a ride. I don't really like the fact that they're trying to push this Seattle versus Vegas narrative off the bat. It should be Seattle versus Vancouver. I don't think it's gonna make for good television just because you have two teams that, they're the two newest teams. Who's gonna be who's gonna be better expansion? No, it doesn't hit. You gotta just give it to Vancouver. I will die on this hill. Seattle, they've made two mistakes here. Seattle's first game of their franchise is in Vegas. It's not even at home. Secondly, it's not against Vancouver. It should have been Vancouver in Seattle to open up the game, open up the series. It should have been that, but instead, Seattle plays five games on the road before going to their first home game. Now, I will say that after those 5 games on the road, their first home game is against Vancouver, so fine. But still, flip. Just do it. Flip. Why does Vancouver need to play Edmonton? Oh my god, the amount of marketing opportunities the NHL misses out on a daily basis is crazy. Because you're having Seattle play Vegas in Vegas for their first franchise game. The first game of the year for the Oilers is going to be against the Canucks when it should be against the Flames. So many missed opportunities. You know what? Let's do this. We're going to go through and build our dream day one schedule. We're going to look at all the teams in the league, and we're going to find them a partner that they should play in game one of the year. Someone where it's destiny. That should be their first game of the year. Let's start in the Pacific Division because we were just there. I would argue that Calgary, Edmonton is a match made in heaven. So is Seattle, Vancouver. And then out of Anaheim, LA, San Jose, and Vegas, which combination of those two teams, together would be good?
Okay, I would go San Jose and Vegas just because they've met in the playoffs more. And then it'd be
the Ducks and the Kings.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the best option as well.
It just makes the most sense.
It makes the most sense. I think that if you're looking for ratings on night one, you're going to draw that in. I think it just makes a lot of sense. Moving on to the Central Division, which is still listed as the Discover Central Division. I don't know if that's sticking or not, but it's there. This is a bit of a harder one. Arizona, Chicago, Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Nashville, St. Louis, Winnipeg. Pick 2 teams in there. Which ones do you think would work?
Colorado, Winnipeg, maybe?
That'd be a nice matchup. Yeah, just because they are both built as the 2 best teams in that division, and those 2 going toe-to-toe. I'd say Chicago, St. Louis would also be a good night 1 matchup. They have a bit of a history to them. And then, I mean, the hardest one is finding a way to shove Arizona in here, I feel. I feel like that's the hardest one. If we're sticking in division. Arizona, how about they play? How about they play Dallas? And then we go
Yeah.
Minnesota, Nashville. You can probably flip that around a little bit, but I think that probably
Yeah.
fits the best.
I feel like Minnesota, Nashville makes the most sense. So then Arizona, Dallas just.
Yeah, kind of. It has to be that way.
Yeah.
Metro. That's a hard one. Um,
Yeah.
I think you have to. I think you have to go Battle of Pennsylvania and Battle of New York. So
Yep.
Islanders, Rangers, Flyers, Penguins,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh no. No.
no.
Rangers, Washington.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. I can admit that. That's good.
And then Islanders would play the Devils.
That works. Yeah. And then Hurricanes, Blue Jackets. I feel like is kind of
Yeah,
just
that's fine.
it has to happen because they're the only two teams
Yeah.
left. All right. Atlantic. There are. Let's start with the Leafs, shall we? Because there's a lot of different teams they could play.
Oh
Do you
jeez.
want a Battle of Ontario? Do you want to play Montreal or do you want to play Boston? Because I think the Battle of Florida is happening, right? The Battle of
Yeah.
Florida would happen. And then from there we'd have to fill things out. Toronto. Which team do you think the best rivalry would be?
Okay. I'm gonna have them playing Ottawa just so Boston and Montreal can play.
And then Buffalo, Detroit.
Yeah, that's whatever. I
Pers.
I would go Toronto, Montreal just because like, they play in the playoffs and all of that, but then it's Boston and like no one.
Fair. Fair. I mean,
Hmm.
personally, I personally do see the Battle of Ontario being a good one, but just to be a bit different, I'm going to go Toronto, Boston, Montreal, Ottawa, and then
Okay.
Buffalo, Detroit, because I feel like, again, you're not avoiding Buffalo and Detroit. I mean, honestly, okay, like, I was actually thinking this down the Central. I didn't want to cross division to make it uncomplicated.
Yeah.
I think the best Week 1 matchup for Buffalo and Detroit would be out of conference. I think the best Week 1 matchup for Day 1 matchup for Buffalo would be Arizona. Get the
Yes.
tank bowl out of the way. And then I think I would shift some things around in the Central. Maybe instead of having Chicago play St. Louis, maybe have Minnesota play St. Louis, Dallas then plays Nashville, and then go Detroit, Chicago in a Day 1 matchup.
Yeah.
I think that could be a good one as well. But
Hmm.
like, yeah, the point of this segment is the NHL talks about how our marketing's bad. We need to market to younger people. And they can't even use common sense in trying to build the best Day 1 matchups. It's stupid. And like, man, I could go on about the marketing mistakes of the NHL all
Oh
day
God.
long. Because
Hmm.
like there's so many blown opportunities. Like major to minor things. They mess everything up. Like honestly, I think that they should build like they should obviously have an 82 game schedule, but I personally
Yeah.
believe that Saturday in hockey should be like Sunday in the NFL. That should
Yeah.
be the day. Have afternoon
Hmm.
games strung out all throughout at different start times so they all wrap up at different times so fans can catch a bit of every game. And just have it
Hmm.
be one big event where the eyes of the hockey world, you bring in more casuals on that day. You build around it. You build for that being your day with the highest amount of views. It makes sense in Canada. You work it out with America. I
Yeah.
feel like that could have been the thing that really could have been good marketing wise,
Hmm.
but no. No. That's too smart for everyone. Anyways, we've ran out of things to talk about, eh?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of things. It's weird that we're in the preseason here, but there's still not a lot to say. Oh boy, nope, that's a big thing. That's good. Oh wow, wowie. Quinn Hughes is nearing a contract. Satire
Hmm.
Satire Shaw. First time we're having breaking news during the podcast that isn't like a minor
Wow.
signing.
Yeah.
Satire Shaw
Wow.
is hearing Hughes nearing a 6-year deal worth slightly above 7.75 per year with the Vancouver Canucks. say what you want about that contract. All I'm going to say is this. Jim Benning is good at one thing as general manager, and that's signing rookies to contracts. Signing young guys, re-signing his own guys.
Yeah.
Quinn Hughes should not be making 7.75. He should be making more than that, even on a bridge deal.
More.
More. Oh, hell yeah, more. Look at some of the... Okay, look at the guys in the league who've been getting paid big money, right? Think about Seth Jones. I personally believe Quinn Hughes is better than Seth Jones.
Yeah.
Darnell Nurse. I think
Yeah.
that Hughes is better than Darnell Nurse right now. You look at those contracts.
Yeah.
You'd think that Hughes would be worth about that. But not
Yeah.
only is it less money, but it's also only a 6 year. It's a 6. You get 6 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Everyone said 8 or higher on a 3-year deal. 6 years, 7.75. I hope Canucks fans are happy about that and don't complain about it because they shouldn't be. What?
Yeah. My only problem with Hughes is just he's he's very good offensively. One of the best puck moving defensemen probably in the whole NHL. But he's just not the best at
Not the
defense.
best at defense.
I would like to see his defense improve a lot.
Mm-hmm.
One thing which I think that'd be cool, just in practice, just kind of, testing things out. Try him at forward maybe. Just
Yeah.
place him on the wing in practice. See how it
I
goes.
don't think
Just
he's
see how
that.
it goes.
I don't think he's that bad defensively.
He's not that bad, but I feel like he could be a really good winger too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and listen to this from Ian McIntyre from Sportsnet. Sides continue to hammer away for deals on deals for Pettersson and Hughes. Hearing new contracts for Canucks could come as soon as tonight. So it's looking like Hughes is signed now. By the time this podcast ends, we could hear that Elias Pettersson is also re-signed with the Canucks. We don't have any idea what the contract might be.
Yeah.
I almost got tricked by a fake thing there. I'm just gonna look and see if there's anything else. Oh wait, no, it wasn't a fake thing. Pettersson's contract's 3 years, I believe. So, yeah. Looks like we're getting Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes 6-year deal at a little under 8, and Elias Pettersson Canucks 3-year deal. We don't know money. Jim Benning did it. The man did it.
Yeah.
Let's get out a $12 million in cap this year and take on 8 in the next 6 after. That man did it.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe that. That is crazy.
Yeah, but where is he getting this money from? Because I'm pretty sure, the Canucks are very, very tight on cap, I think.
Something happened the other day. I can't remember. Travis Hamonic. Hamonic is not. I don't know if he's not vaccinated or what it is, but Hamonic's not reporting to camp, and it's believed he may retire.
Okay.
Now, the reason I'm not being aggressive on him about possibly not being vaxxed is because A, really cloudy situation and we don't know a lot, and also B, we've seen things that it could be for a medical reason. The point is I don't really have enough to be able to say, oh, this man is unvaccinated, he is a horrible person. I think that there's another reason behind it. And it might not even be that he's not vaccinated, A couple years ago, he sat out of the bubble because he has I think one of his kids has a health condition. And if his kid got COVID, it would have been severe. So he decided to stay back. So I think there's a reason for it, but I don't know what's I don't know what there is going on right now, so we're not gonna sit here and talk on it a lot. But yeah, so wow, breaking news mid-show. Pettersson, Hughes, both fall down. They're both off the board.
Wow.
Which leaves in the RFA market, if this is the case, Brady.
Yeah.
The only one left. Oh, sorry. Anatoly Golishev and Kiefer Bellows are left as well. But I don't think anyone's talking about them.
No.
So, Brady Tkachuk, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
I don't know why a team like, New Jersey, lots of cap space. PK Subban, I'm pretty sure this is his last year. New Jersey, they're gonna be making the playoffs next year.
Oh,
They might not make it this year.
no one wants to rock the boat. No one wants to rock the boat of the NHL. I think, personally, I think a lot of teams looked at what just happened between Montreal and Carolina, and I don't think
Yeah.
anyone's going to touch an offer sheet again.
Yeah,
Because,
which is very sad because New Jersey could have offer sheeted
yeah.
they could offer sheet Brady. They could have offer sheet Quinn
Yeah.
and Elias Pettersson.
But the problem is, you do that, you offer sheet one of those guys. All right, guess who's up in about a year? Jack Hughes.
Yeah, but he'll probably stay.
Now, if he signs an
But
offer sheet,
yeah,
what if the Devils don't give him what he wants? He goes off, signs an offer sheet. It's a landmine now, and at this point, after what, honestly, it's a shame Montreal and Carolina had to screw each other over like that.
yeah, it
Montreal,
was funny, but now it's just
the
come
long term
on.
effects of it are going to be bad because no one's going to be willing to throw out that offer sheet. Because what if I throw out an offer sheet and then a year from now I get an offer sheet thrown at me? Like, we've
Yeah,
seen Carolina. Don't offer sheet anyone in Carolina because they're going to be willing to overpay and take your guys away, even though they're really not worth it. No offense to
yeah,
Sperry. Game 6, I'll love you forever for, but no offense to Sperry. You're not that. You're not 6 million. You're not that guy. It just. Yeah, so I think that's now untapped and just no one's going to touch an offer sheet again.
yeah.
Well, are we looking to wrap this podcast up for this week? We don't really have
Yeah.
anything else to talk about. I need to rest my
Nope.
vocal cords. Oh, nope, we now have details. We have details, and oh my god, Jim Benning has done it again. It's a 3-year deal for Pettersson. 8. Only 8. Oh my god. I
I
thought
mean,
I heard everyone
yeah,
say combined about 20 million, possibly. Like, possibly 20 million for the two of these guys combined. Not even 16. Not even 16. Elias
wow,
Pettersson
wow,
is going back to Vancouver on a 3-year contract, $8 million per year. Tidy business,
wow.
Jim. Tidy business. See,
Mm-hmm.
this is why I hate Jim Benning with a passion, because there's glimmers there of a good general manager.
Yeah,
It's just that his good moves are really good, and then his bad moves, whoa, bring
yeah,
pain to all those around him. Like, man. But, wow.
yeah.
Awesome. Wow. Breaking news during the podcast, everyone. We promised you top stories. We gave you top stories. We broke stories.
Yep.
These contracts are going to prove to not be true. I guarantee it. It's going to be
Oh
fake.
my
It's going
God.
to be false. We're going to release this, and the moment we release it, it's going to be like, JK, nah, mate, nah, they're holding out. Or no. It is going to be an off sheet. It's
New Jersey.
everyone's going to be like, oh, Hughes and Pettersson have signed, and then in a few minutes it's going to be like, they've signed with other teams though. These contracts are
Yeah.
offer sheets. Mwah, mwah,
Yeah.
mwah. But yeah, wow. So that is it for the podcast. Let's leave here before Brady signs.
Yes. Oh
Um,
God.
man. All right. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to watch next week's episode. Next week, our final episode before we go into regular season mode. We're gonna hop up to 2 episodes a week at that point. So make sure to stick around for that. If you go down below, you'll see all my socials there. You're also gonna see the channel Discord. I might throw his Instagram down there one day. I don't know. If I feel like it, I will. I don't want to make his life that hellish. So, that's all, folks. Thank you all for watching this week's episode. We will all see you next time. Goodbye for now.
Bye.